Hi friends. So I titled this particular video, I Can Be Kind in a Kind Place. And I did that because what I've come to realize, and perhaps many of you can identify with this, is I tend to be like the place that I'm placed in. There's a lot of place in that sentence. What I mean by that is if I'm surrounded by kind people, genuine people, I find I can be kind, genuine. I have that capacity. And this is the default I'd like to stay in. I'd like to be that kind, genuine, joyous person that most of my life feels that way. I think what is especially true is if for whatever reason I am around people, situations, an environment, I like to say the table that I sit and eat at, if it is a toxic one or one that does not nourish me or accept me or engage with me, or one that competes with me unnecessarily, I find that I can become kind of like that place. I become competitive, I become angry, I become edgy, impatient, hurtful, bitter, mean. I hate admitting this about myself, but this is a stark realization. And so we can't always control fully, to a large extent we can, the people and places that are around us. Sometimes we don't have a choice. We just, we have the family we have, and not that I'm saying that that's particularly what I'm talking about. Sometimes the workplace of who we're working with as a team, we can't always expect to like everybody or find everyone who is engaging, nurturing, kind. So what do we do in a situation like that? My first instinct is to run away. I've always done that my whole life. I always feel like, nah, this is not good enough. I'm gonna leave and go find the place and the people who are good enough. And there's some merit in that. Is why put yourself over and over into a toxic place, toxic situation? I always say, if you're at a table where respect's not served, acceptance is not there, you're not appreciated for being there, then why are you there, right? Find a table where people are happy to see you and they appreciate you and they absolutely, genuinely want you there. Find that table. It's there, right? There's a few of them for each of us in our lives. But the whole idea of wanting to mimic the behavior of the environment that we're in, sometimes not realizing that perhaps a change is possible. And so I think maybe not so much running away anymore as I've grown up, so to speak, definitely older, a bit wiser, I'd like to hope. I think what I can do now is do a surround sound analysis of this particular place. And that may be anything. It may be, a group of friends. It may be a team that I work with. It could be whatever's an old situation with friends and family. I could take sort of a 360 high level analysis of, is this the table where I'm being respected? Is this where I'm feeling most nourished? Am I often feeling bitter and angry in this place, or I have an urge to hurt people? Or is it the complete opposite? Am I here and I'm calm and I know I'm being held and loved and I don't feel defensive or the need to constantly pick up after other people? Once I've done that analysis, I can really start to examine, can I remove myself from this group? And that's okay, right? Like at this age and time, we don't really want to be in a place where we're not respected. So if I can remove myself from that group of people, then I will. If I cannot, then perhaps the idea of, what about this group of people, or what about this situation is nourishing? Maybe there's one or two things out of the 30 things that are not nourishing. What if I start to focus on those things that nourish me as opposed to only focus on that which is not nourishing. And that's helped a lot, especially in situations where, I just, that is what was given to me. I have to be there, at least for the present moment. And then really actively noticing when I am, and I've made sort of a list in my mind, in my journal, really noticing individuals around whom I feel extremely uncomfortable, with whom I don't feel like I can be myself, or I'm not engaged with or appreciated. If I have to be around them, then I'm very mindful of my own behavior, because I have found that in the past I can get quite mean, quite catty, quite hurtful. And in the end, that doesn't make me feel good. That's not the kind of person I want to be. After I'm done behaving in that way, I almost always feel awful. So perhaps I urge you as well is to do this sort of analysis of, are you in a place in your life where situations and people are making you feel engaged and nourished? Or are you in spaces where you feel mostly uncomfortable, defensive, and unaccepted? And ask yourself, what do you want to do about that? How do you want to remove yourself? And if you're unable to remove yourself, how will you stay kind in a kind place, but also maybe kind in a toxic place? And that's gonna be my big thing. Please do comment if you have any suggestions, or if you have found other ways to overcome something like that. Have a good one.